Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy and we're getting it straight into our explosive penny stock watch list. So the first stock we're looking at here is Humbl on the daily time frame. Humbl continued its downtrend today, down 18%, but intraday we actually found very nice support on our 200-day SMA. So I loved that we actually got a tag of this SMA and we closed above a very critical level of support here at around $1.33. So this was actually pretty solid price action even on a downtrend. And so if we look at our RSI right now, we are officially oversold here on Humbl stock. We still have a slight gap to fill here on Humbl at around $2.43. So again, we should still expect that to happen in the short term. Right now we are a falling knife, but we did find very nice support here. And so today was actually a very nice day to load up. You can see we had a lot more selling than usual today. And so I'm lining up our RSI with our MACD and our accumulation distribution, all three indicating a downtrend right now in Humbl, and that is exactly what is shown here in share price. And so right now we are still expecting Humbl to trade lower in the foreseeable future. We have markets that are at all-time highs that are going to start to have a correction. Once those have a correction, a lot of these big hyped names are going to take a hit. Like we all know, Humbl is a long-term hold, but in the short term we are going to see some volatility that is going to test the patience of such shareholders. And so right now we are just looking to find a concrete bottom, and as long as we hold these levels of support, this is going to act as a very solid support level and foundation for the next level up. And so I don't really see too much more downside here in the short term just because of our RSI here being oversold. And so sometime this week I do expect us to get a back test here at around $1.94, and so this is going to be a critical level of resistance. If we break past this and we get back above this uptrend, that would be extremely bullish. And so right now, because we actually tagged our 200-day SMA, that was actually very great to see. I personally like when we see price action interact with our SMAs, and because we had that downtrend, you saw exactly what happened once we tested that 200-day SMA. We bounced right back up and we closed above a level of support. So even though Humbl was down, these are great areas to be accumulating. But if you are a long-term investor, look at market weakness as an opportunity to buy Humbl. So don't throw all your money in at once. I would be chipping away. And so a stock that I've been chipping away on is actually Igen, which brings us to our second stock of the day. So Igen has been a consistent stock that I continue to buy at these levels, and I did buy again today. And the reason why I'm getting so much more conviction here is because if I line up all of our indicators again, you can see our price action is in a downtrend, our RSI is in a downtrend, our MACD is in a downtrend, but our accumulation is on an uptrend. So during this entire downtrend, we've actually been accumulating shares. And so what that would let me know is there's some sort of market manipulation with the bid and the ask, trying to bring the price as low as possible because somebody wants some very cheap shares here on Igen. And I don't really care what games these guys are going to play. I'm going to continue to buy at these levels. So right now we are finding a base here on our level of support at 0075. If we look at our MACD and our signal line are very close together. So this is actually a really great sign because it doesn't take too much to get this crossover that we are highly anticipating. We have seen a lot of red days since about February, and so we expect Igen to potentially go lower for the next week and then get our uptrend going. And so at these levels again, I am a buyer, but what I'm really waiting for is, because I've seen such market manipulation, I'm waiting for that one trading session where the price just drops significantly intraday to even as low as 0.05, and at that point I want to try to add as many shares as I can. And so usually when a stock is being manipulated, I notice that we start to kind of consolidate, we bottom out, and then there will be this quick drop. And that is when a lot of the market makers are trying to get these cheap shares, and I'm watching for that same movement to happen here at Igen, and which is why I am waiting for that moment to unleash a lot more money. As of right now, I just continue to chip away, just keep buying shares every day that we're down, just to load up on this stock before we start to run up. Overall, I love this stock, even though we were down today. Overall markets continue to drop, but we have some sneaky accumulation happening here on Igen. Next stock of the day, looking at Wdlf on the daily time frame, up about 16%. I believe that this was because of the lawsuit that was filed by our CEO on a $40 million complaint. If we just take that into perspective, that is about half of our current market cap. So if we were to win this lawsuit, just imagine how high this stock will go. And so a lot of people were anticipating that, which is why we saw the green today. But also keep in mind, there is still a chance we lose this lawsuit. And if we lose this lawsuit, that's a lot of money that has gone into this specific lawsuit that's going to go to waste, and that will hurt shareholders' value. So right now we are on a teetering point of this stock right now, and overall the CEO is trying to do as much as he can to show you that he is going to help the shareholders and try to bring as much value to the table for shareholders. And so overall, I am long and strong on Wdlf. I think this complaint is just a bump on the road. We have a Safe Banking Act that got passed in-house, which is going to help the likes of MJNA get their IPO running. I feel like if we start to get some of these bills passed and we have an IPO for MJNA, that is going to be a very nice opportunity for Wdlf to make some profits. And so overall, we're looking forward to these IPOs. And right now, everything looks pretty nice. We are in a very steady zone right here, closed right above our level of support. So right now we are still extremely bullish here on Wdlf. We have some market weakness which could bring this down in the short term, and that is exactly why we have this pennant right here. Because of this market, we could see lows here of 0.006. Now remember, I said because of the market, nothing to do with the company. This is outside the company's control. All stocks take a hit when the markets dump, and so that is why we have this here. Just in case we do get to this point, this would be an amazing time to be loading up on Wdlf. Next stock of the day, looking at Alyi on the daily time frame. So we got absolutely crushed today, down 18%. RSI is starting to come down a little bit, and now we are trading below a very key level of resistance. So Alyi is a solid play once we break past this point, but until we do expect more downside pressure here in the short term. We do still see decent accumulation at these levels, and so we will be looking for a break past this level of resistance. And if we do, this stock should run a little bit, but as of right now, because we are below, really no interest here in Alyi. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SEGI on the daily time frame. So SEGI actually looks very nice. We are up 1.67%. Our RSI does look like it's starting to come up. Our MACD did get that nice bullish crossover right here, and if we look at our accumulation, we've had just steady accumulation along this point, and so any sort of catalyst will really shoot this thing to the moon. Again, I still believe that SEGI trades along this level of support till about June 18th, and at this point I think we will start to see a larger move to the upside. Until then, this could be a nice accumulation area, and we could still test lows here of about 0.03. so right now we do still have a very nice bullish crossover. Overall, I am liking the setup right now on SEGI. Next stock of the day, we're looking at MJNA on the daily time frame. So we were up 1% today here on MJNA, still trading sideways. We would love to see a break of this level of resistance. This level of resistance is our big money play. Once we get a break, we got a back test. MJNA should see a nice run up. If you look at our MACD could be potentially ready to cross over. So a couple more green days will give us a nice little crossover, and that would be extremely bullish. And so overall, still waiting for MGNA to break past this major level of resistance. Next stock of the day, looking at HYSR on the daily time frame. So another down day here for Sun Hydrogen, down 6%, and I just expect it to keep going down. You can see we've seen a lot of distribution. Our MACD had a bearish crossover to the downside, and our RSI looks like it could still go lower. So overall, with HYSR, a company without a real product and just based off an idea is not going to survive in the market conditions that we are seeing right now, which is why I am personally not going to be putting my money into a play like this. Overall, if you guys are in Sun Hydrogen, just understand if the market does correct, which it looks like it's about to, this thing is not going to see too many green days, and it should go a lot lower in the short term before we start to see any movements up. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ACDC on the daily time frame. So extreme vehicle battery has been trading beautifully on a technical level. We are very nicely trading inside this pennant. You see we got rejected here yesterday and we got rejected here today, so that was actually very bearish, us getting rejected. You can see our MACD really wants to cross over, but we really need to get some good news going. But because this pattern really goes till about the 27th of April, we could start to see this drop down a little bit, bring our RSI down, and then we could get a very nice movement to the upside right here. And so that is kind of what we're waiting and watching to see with ACDC. This has been a good stock to trade, but this could be a very nice long entry if we break this to the upside. Otherwise, we should see some more movement to the downside as the markets continue to correct. Next stock of the day, we're looking at STAF on the daily time frame. So I was about to buy this stock and I was so close to buying it, but I told myself that I don't want to diversify my money too much on a downtrend market, and so that is why I ended up buying Igen instead, because I rather just load up on what I already have instead of opening new positions and diversifying and minimizing actual profits by diversifying. And so today was very tempting though, and I wanted to do it so bad. If we just look at what we saw today, our RSI officially got oversold today, and we are sitting under a very, very long lasting level of support. So I don't expect STAF to stay here for too long. And so if we do start to go up, we are up slightly after hours. I think this was a steal of an opportunity on a simply trade basis. Next stock of the day, we're looking at High Tide on the daily time frame. So High Tide continues to trade in this pennant, and I expect it to do so till about the end of May, early June. And at this point, I do think we will get a bigger decision and a bigger movement in share price. Right now, we are still just on a slight downtrend. My fear with this stock is this gap to fill here at 31.32 cents. And I think if we get to this point, we may briefly get down to this point and then come right back up, because this gap to fill does need to get filled if we want to see High Tide push further up. And so just having that in the back of your head, have money ready to go if we get down to this position at 31 cents. Next stock of the day, we're looking at Sndl on the daily time frame. So Sndl is down 10%. We got approval of our Safe Banking Act in House yesterday, and so in anticipation of that, we saw a lot of the cannabis plays go up. We got the news and we got the sell-off, and so because it's 420 today, it's unfortunate to see the cannabis stocks down so much, but that is the name of the game here. And so if we're just looking at this on a technical level, our MACD looks extremely nice right now because it looks super close to crossing over. Anytime you have your signal line and your MACD very close and parallel together, it doesn't take too much for the MACD to cross over, and once you get that crossover, it does start letting you know we might be at the beginning of an uptrend. And so right now, if we're looking at Sndl, I do think we did find a short-term bottom here, and we should start to see some movements up. You can see we haven't really had too much distribution. We've had steady accumulation at this range, and so I don't expect this to go down too much more. I do think once we get past this level of resistance, we will start to see larger moves to the upside. There you guys have it. That was our quick little update here on our explosive penny stock watch list. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.